Oh, great spirits of dank memes and cancer culture, give me the power to review the most horrific and horrendous thing on this planet. I give you the sacrifices of two of the most high critical video game movies of this generation. Heed my call. Give me the worst you can offer.
Out the back of my head.
That'll do.
Hello everybody, Green90 here, and welcome back to another review. But this time we're not going to be reviewing any Toku toy or DVD or movie. Today we're going to be consulting the Book of the Underworld in order for me to review something that's really hard to find and scarce, but you've all probably heard of it by now. But for those of you living under a rock for the last decade, let's talk about Christian Weston Chandler.
Chris Chan, aka Christine Weston Chandler, formerly Christian Weston Chandler, formerly Christopher Weston Chandler, is the most documented person on the internet for all the wrong reasons and very little of the right reasons. If you honestly want a deep dive into all of the Chris Chan lore, I'd seriously recommend you listen to the comprehensive Chris Chan documentary and then come back to this video, because as much as I want to gush about my personal experiences and my personal thoughts on these matters, I am not the right kind of guy to do it, especially given the context of this video. But primarily, Chris Chan was famous for one thing and one thing only at the time, this being Sonichu.
Of course, however, though, the comic is pretty much expansive, spanning at least, I think, 16 issues and some prison artwork that Chris is doing from jail, or at least allegedly. But I'm only going to be taking a look at the 0th issue, because I feel like the 0th issue can just be enough ground for me to cover in one video alone. So let's go ahead and talk about the 0th issue of Sonichu.
Since we're only taking a look at one comic, let's just talk about the cover. I mean, others will say this is sort of crude and cringeworthy, but I think it's sort of fitting for the first issue. I mean, yeah, seeing a disproportionate Chris Chan holding a Pokeball and all, but I mean, come on, comparing this to the other covers, this makes it almost tame. Case in point, the Spring Break issue. Anyways, enough with that. Let's just go ahead and open up the book. Episode 1. Sonichu's Origin. Our story begins in an open field 5 miles from the city of Station Square. And remember, kids,
because poor literacy is true,
which is under siege by the perfect chaos monster.
You know that this is going to be a weird story when Sonic the Hedgehog and Pokemon are in the exact same continuity.
While Sonic the Hedgehog ponders over the destruction, a wild boy Pikachu takes notice of the far-off destruction. Chris Chan, who interrupts the flow of the story, then explains that due to Sonic colliding with Pikachu, the residual energy wrapped in Pikachu's DNA turns him into a half-hedgehog, half-Pikachu. 15 miles away, at the cottage. Raichu, I saw that. Who are you? And where's my Pokemon? I am your Pokemon. I have transformed.
Also, for those who are wondering, yes, this comic came out before Generation 4 of Pokemon, so technically Chris Chan is right by giving him the straight tail. Although I don't agree with him retconning this, saying that it was a transfigure in all that regard, but I don't know. I don't have the credentials to really talk about this issue.
Anyways, after the battles, Sonichu declares himself a hero to the masses of Station Square as Sonic runs off into the distance. And from then on, Sonichu went on to make new friends as well as enemies, and he will use his abilities to stop evil and save the world. Stay tuned for more Zappin' adventures of Sonichu.
And more stories about me, Christian Weston Chandler.
Then after that, since this is a prequel comic, we get some character bios about the upcoming series and its inevitable obscurity. Chris himself, the Chaotic Combo, Flame the Sunbird, and Nate Cirque, which is essentially Chris spelled backwards and is the, quote, son of Giovanni.
Okay, I don't know how, but Christian managed to retcon the fact that Silver is Giovanni's son.
And most notably is the more recurring villains within the first few issues, such as Sonichu or Black Chew.
I mean, I guess that's one way to differentiate Shadow the Hedgehog and Black Chew. Although now that I think about it, wouldn't that mean that technically Shadow the Hedgehog is strawberry flavored than cherry flavored? Whatever. Back to the story.
Walter Grizz did I mean Wes Isley, and Chris's friend Sarah Hammer.
Okay, since this technically is the first time I'm bringing up people from Christian's actual life in this story, let's just give the basic rundown. Sarah Hammer was a very close friend of Chris when they were younger, and they would always play together, so on and so forth. When Chris decided that he wanted to get a girlfriend, Sarah was the one person who wanted to see if they could hook up together. Sarah was dating this guy named Wes Isley, and thus Chris said that I automatically hate this person and that he is a villain trying to stop me from my love quest. There. You're caught up to speed. Now let's move on to the next page. So Mary Lee Walsh was the principal of Chris Chan's college. When Chris Chan started his love quest, quote-unquote, Mary Lee Walsh confiscated his attraction sign as well as his newsletter, considering the fact that he was soliciting sex on campus, which was illegal at the time. Since Chris Chan didn't take too lightly to this, Mary Lee Walsh said to either get psychiatric help or don't come back to the campus for a whole year and take anger management classes while he was out at it. Yeah, Chris didn't listen to that. In fact, that's why Mary Lee Walsh is the main villain of this comic series. Well, I say that, but there's not really much of a main villain, more of Monster of the Week with no plot point at all. Oh my god, Chris Chan did the Dawn Brothers story before Dawn Brothers.
I mean, Don Torbolt is technically the imaginary friend to Jiro, and his final attack is zapping to the extreme, so it's all there. Anyways, after all that, we have a side story episode, quote-unquote, which shows the aftermath of the Perfect Chaos monster battle. Oh, since my transformation, my new, bigger body needs more food than before. And nuts and apples can't cut it. It's been over a week now, and I'm so hungry. Not only that, I feel lonesome.
I mean, surely he ran into a Caterpie or some other Pokemon while he was out there in the forest.
Caterpie, yeah.
Ew.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it hasn't been that long since he's transformed.
This is actually a pretty big piece of Chris Chan lore, as this is a remake of a short story that he did for his comic where Sonichu and Rosechu become in love with each other and cringy pick-up one-liners and all.
Okay, crappy art aside and forgetting Chris Chan's history for a minute, this part of the comic actually is really, really sweet. It establishes that these two are meant to be together. It establishes that they're a nice, lovely couple. And I'm pretty sure nothing bad is going to happen to their relationship or nothing's going to come between them in any way, shape, or form down the future. I mean, what's next? Is Rosechu going to get bloated in a fat fetish comic and Sonichu is going to swing through pickle brine to get to her size? YouTube, please be nice to me. I'm working very, very hard on this video.
The next few pages, though, are essentially the Monster of the Week fluff, with Nate Cirque trying to kidnap Sonichu with an ultimatum between the people or his girlfriend. Anyways, like the Gary Stu that he is, no, not that one, he wins the fight, and him and Chris walk out of the mall to recap their adventure. However, Sonichu has a few problems with this as he wonders why his dad doesn't have a date, and Chris relents this, saying that he'll find someone right now.
There he goes, with a grin on his face. In the end, he'll say, "One girlfriend, please," because he'll probably fail again. I'm so proud to have a brave father.
I don't know, Sonichu. It's been about 20 years since this comic first came out, and I'm pretty sure your opinions on your father have changed since then. I don't know. What do you think, Sonichu?
He's about as crazy as Nintendo's YouTube bots flagging down videos.
Good lad. Oh, what, did you really think I was going to let the video's thumbnail card joke go to waste?
And to round out the book, we have some strips of the future with these characters, a Mother's Day strip, a strip where the two go on a date, so on and so forth.
Hey, Rosie, what's up? Well, Sonichu, I've been living my life and being beautiful. But seriously, I wish I didn't have to work so hard. I'm tired of it. But being with you, a great friend, makes me feel so much better.
Wait, hold on a minute. If Rosechu's been working so hard lately, where the hell has she been working? I mean, it's not like they established they have jobs, but if Chris Chan is the mayor, the Chaotic Combo are in the same leagues as the Power Rangers and the Police Force and the Transformers that are in the comic, and yes, those exist in the comic, where the hell would Rosechu work? Does she work at the mall? Does she work with her trainer Kel? And what happened to trainer Kel after the first issue? Because she doesn't appear again until issue 10. Why does any of this make sense? Why does Sonichu have armor in the last comic strip issue? And why is it that this story starts off as Sonichu, but then it defaults into Chris Chan's fantasies and moment time, moment time, moment time. I am a god.
Fight, kiss.
Okay, from now on until the end of this video, I am no longer going to question any and all forms of logic for the remainder of this comic.
And to round out the last of the book, we have a small paragraph detailing the thanks for reading section.
I hope you enjoyed this free Sonichu comic book. I take great pride behind my electric hedgehog Pokemon, Sonichu and all the other characters in the city of Quickville. I want Sonichu to be more than just on paper. I want him in his own video game, cartoon show, and other fine merchandise. Although I have already made some fun Sonichu items for my own, I feel like the public should be able to share in the zapping fun. If you want to see Sonichu as a real video game too, or catch him in the Pokemon title, please send your request to Nintendo America or Nintendo Power Magazine. Please raise the hype on Sonichu so that I will be legally able to talk to the people of Nintendo America Incorporated and make a deal with them. Thank you for reading this free Sonichu comic book. And as Sonichu says, let's zap to the extreme.
And with that, that is the end of Sonichu issue number 0. The comic sucks. Okay, maybe sucks is too good of a word for this comic. I mean, the artwork is crude, the story is convoluted and confusing at some points. And this is technically only the first episode of the whole show, to be honest with you. So I can't really say that the whole story sucks. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of comics out there that are just as bad, like book number 8, book number 10, book number 15. A lot of crappy stories have come out since its existence. So saying that the first issue, or in this case the 0th issue, sucked is a bit of an understatement. It's a bit of an overstatement, if you ask me.
And that is why I am never going to touch it again or touch the grimoire for as long as I live. Maybe now I can actually get started on that red versus blue video that I wanted to do.
Line solicitor. I am the manager from Sonichu issue 04. You have been caught soliciting and lying about our good god, Chursidon Weston Chandler Sonichu Prime. For that you will face destruction in THR highest form possible for sitting there and doing nothing but lying solely. Surrender quietly or you will be destroyed.
If I see another crappily drawn monster again or a crappily written ending card joke, it'll be way too soon.
It's better if this stays out of his hands. For now, at least.